I just got done crying, and I thought I would do the Lord's work, as I do, and let you know that manifestation, personal growth, self-development is not a linear journey. First of all, if you've never seen me before on your page, my name's Persis. I teach people the neuroscience of manifestation, which means that if you've been in a scenario where you learned about manifestation way back in the day, years and years and years ago, and you thought it was some hippy-dippy, crystal voodoo, weird, fake nonsense. It's actually just neuroscience, and I'm here to kind of correct the stigma around manifestation. I don't think there's anything wrong with being hippy-dippy and the crystals, and we do whatever you like, but I want to re-educate people that if that was ever not your vibe, truly all that manifestation is creating a new neural pathway. That's all that it is. And if you can create a new neural pathway and impress the subconscious mind, which we literally have scientific data that says our perception of reality becomes our reality. And if you want to change your reality, you have to change your perception, and then the reality changes automatically every time, guaranteed, no matter what. Meaning no matter your race, your religion, your background, your socioeconomic status, none of the external physical circumstances that seem and are, I validate that, very, very real. None of that actually matters when you change your brain chemistry, because your reality is a reflection of what's going on internally, meaning that we as humans are literally walking electromagnetic fields. This is science. This is not voodoo, hippie, bullshit nonsense. This is science. And so if there's one thing that I love coming from a medical background is science. I always wanted to be able to improve my life when year after year I was crying from things like crippling self-worth issues, perfectionism, coming from a first-generation American family. My father was an immigrant, having a lot of adversity and circumstances in our lives, seeing my family struggle. And I never realized why, no matter how much I tried, I just couldn't get ahead. It's because my subconscious mind was actually primed for the struggle. And the one thing about the subconscious mind that you need to know, outside of whatever's programmed in there creates your reality, is that until you get your subconscious mind on board, you can literally work yourself into the grave and your reality will not get better. Meaning if you want to actually hack things in your favor, you've got to start studying and learning about the subconscious. The subconscious dictates everything here. So you can try to outwork a bad subconscious programming. Until you shift the programming, you can work until you're blue in the face and your circumstances will not improve. How do I know that? I've seen my parents literally struggle their whole lives and things didn't get better. It didn't get better until they dealt with their subconscious programming. My life didn't get better until I dealt with my subconscious programming. And so as I'm sitting here recovering from a crying spell, I want you to know that no matter what part of the journey that you're on at all, that it is totally normal and totally it's just totally okay. It's just totally, totally, totally okay to have bad days, to cry, to worry about if you're far enough along, if you're good enough, if you're worth it, if this is possible. These are normal parts of the process. Too many people show a glamorized end version. I'm here to show you the raw, uncut version. I was literally crying 10 minutes ago about not feeling enough. And I'm so accomplished. And I have the success and I have the things. But until you deal with your mind and until you deal with your subconscious, you're always going to be chasing something that you can never get. And so until you deal with that, things just can't go forward. And I felt very cold and very compelled to tell you that because I want you to have a really good life and I want you to be happy. You know, one of my coaches, my mentor that I literally look up to, like she's my sister. She makes like crazy, crazy money in her business. She makes like $1 million a month. She's a total freaking badass. she told me something in the beginning in a course of hers that I took. She said, I know people that make $1 million a month, that make so much money a month, $100,000 a month. I think she said 100,000. And they cry. They cry in coffee shops, feeling not good enough. And I couldn't understand that when I was riddled in poverty and when I didn't have 2 dimes to rub together. I couldn't understand that. I thought that that girl was so selfish, and I had judgment towards her. Because I thought to myself, does she even know what that can do for my family? And she's crying about it. How ungrateful. I was so judgy in my mind. I never said it out loud, but I was just so confused. I never understood money like that. My family never understood money like that, despite struggling and working hard our whole lives. We just couldn't get ahead. We just couldn't get ahead no matter what until I found subconscious reprogramming. We just couldn't get ahead. And when it came to that situation, it was crazy because when I first started to do subconscious reprogramming and reprogram my mind for abundance, because I was in so much fight or flight lack, I wasn't even worried about love. Who the hell cares about love when I'm calling the freaking water company and lying to them so that I don't have to pay the late fee because we can't even afford the bill, let alone the late fee? And so I remember those days. I remember those days where I have to call my family and transfer money around so that the bank account doesn't get overdrafted again. I remember those days. I remember the day that we got evicted. I remember it. I remember it as clear as day, and I remember it being so awful. I remember all the bad times. I remember. And those days I use as motivation because I have been through some stuff, bro. I have been through some stuff, my guy. I have been through it. I know that it can get hard. I know that. But what's crazy about this scenario is that there have been times that, going back to this story that my coach said, the girl who makes $100,000 months who's crying in a coffee shop not feeling good enough, I couldn't relate, obviously. I started to deal with my own subconscious, and I started to make really, really good money in my business to a point where I can buy my parents a house. Not even myself, just buy it for them and feel comfortable with that. And now my next goal is to retire them because I don't want them to work, you know? I want to take care of them. I want to take care of the people that have taken care of me. And I am a living proof. I'm a living testimony to if you don't deal with your subconscious misperceptions on your way to the top, you're still met with the limiting beliefs and the doubts at the top. They don't go away when you get more accomplishments. I was a person that I was trying to accomplish things to feel good enough. And that's fine because I'm a hard worker and I'm disciplined and I actually like big goals and working towards things. But where it becomes unbalanced is if you're working on something and your self-worth is on the line. You're working on something to finally give you the value of good enough. When I accomplished things that were huge and I never set realistic goals, I set 10x goals. I set like athlete type of goals, you know? And when I would accomplish it, I don't even remember celebrating at all because it was always about just let's 10x that goal now. Let's 10x that goal now. And if you don't deal with your crap, you can be at the top and you can still cry from the same self-worth issues, just like that girl. I don't even know who she is. I hope she's doing like freaking $1 million months. Like, I'm such a supporter of just people doing well. But I guess this is just your friendly reminder that people are people and people are human and everybody's dealing with their own stuff. Make sure that you're kind to one another. Make sure that you're operating in a manner of integrity. Make sure that you're a person that you're proud of. And make sure you deal with your subconscious mind. And I work on it every single day. It's not that I haven't done work. I've done incredible amounts of work to be at this level, but going and moving on to the next level is what I'm all about, right? However, sometimes at bigger levels, if you don't deal with what was at the beginning, you still got to deal with it here. And I guess that is the lesson that I have for you today.